So, last week, one day before the new ban list dropped, I filmed and edited a new Pendulum Magician deck profile that I was going to upload as part 3 of High Impact Endymion. It was going to be in this format, actually. It was going to be me with a bunch of physical cards, just, chatting, trying something new. And I figured it'd be a nice way to break up the monotony of the High Impact series just a tiny bit. Plus, handling physical cards is nice. But then, everything changed. Now, unfortunately, for now, I will be shelving Endymion and Pendulum as a whole. Now then, the deck still does function post the ban list. Really, Servant getting hit isn't what hurts the most. It was Electromite getting hit that hurts the most. But now, kind of the new variants are... they're just more fragile, it feels like. They're much more inconsistent. And the other big thing is, in order to be competitive with these new variants, you have to, and I mean have to, have some expensive staples. The main two right now being that I just don't have and can't really justify affording at the moment would be IP Masquerena and Apollousa. For those who don't know, Apollousa, and at the time of this video, is pushing like $90 US, and that's even more Canadian, which is where I am. And IP Masquerena is like, it's not so bad, but at the same time, it's just a little much right now. Now, just the plan with the deck is, for those who still do want to play it, I will recommend you go to, I know it's a bit of a meme, but go to Triff Gaming's channel. He has some good lists. He has a Zephyr list. He's got a Mythical Beast list. The Mythical Beast list is what I was kind of leaning towards. And, it works good. It works fine. But at the same time, I'm just missing some components in order to truly make it matter. Otherwise, I think I'll just be benching it for now. I'll try to be picking up through trades or see if there's a good deal at one of my locals or anything for an Apollousa and an IP Masquerena. But for now, it's just, we're just gonna wait and see. And you never know. March 30th is when the next no sooner than date is. So we're just gonna... Anyway, so that now brings up the question, what will I be playing in this new exciting format where Striker is dead and Thunder Dragon's dead and Orcus got hurt a bit? Well, I'm glad you asked. And even if you didn't, I'm going to show you anyways. We're going back to the past. So... the reason I'm playing Dinos is actually a variety of reasons. Now, first up, Dinos, especially Lost World variants, have still been doing okay even in the previous format. However, one big thing that I know that Dinos is going to be good against is going to be good against a lot of these kind of weird, random, stunny decks that I find a lot of at my locals. Whenever people are kind of in a rut, they don't want to play the same thing, they get tired of the meta decks, or they haven't found a meta deck that clicks, usually people tend to default to these sort of strategies like Altergeist, the Guru control, things like that. Now, Dinos has actually a pretty decent matchup against those, plus it can handle the remaining Orcust and Salad players relatively well. It's not perfect by any means, and even right now, tweaks still will be happening to the deck, so I'm not going to be doing a full profile anytime soon, but just do know that this is kind of going to be the next High Impact, most likely. This is a Lost World variant that actually has a bit of a twist. Ignore the extra deck. The extra deck is super placeholdery right now, but we're going to be playing Survival's End. Now then, someone at a regional did a pretty good write-up. I will have that link in the description below. And they played a Survival's End Lost World Dino list. That list managed to get them into Top Cut, and I was just so enamored by the write-up and the logic and kind of his matchups that I just knew it kind of all clicked into place. I wanted to play this deck. So, for those who haven't read Survival's End after they initially may have opened up the structure deck, it's trap card, destroy as many normal monsters on the field as possible, and if you do, special summon level 4 or lower dinosaur type monsters from your deck up to the number destroyed, but destroy them during the end phase. If this card is in the graveyard, you can banish it from your graveyard, then target one dinosaur type monster you control and one card your opponent controls, destroy them. The grave effect can be used the same turn you send it, isn't once per turn, so you can actually play more than one, and just is super flexible, and it helps really control those types of decks that I previously mentioned. Your Guru, your Altergeist, and it still does decently well against Orchist, and we even have the side deck, of course, for that. System Down ain't going anywhere anytime soon, I assure you that much. But yeah, so that's my decision. Gonna be playing some dinos, gonna just see how it works out. Now then, I just complained about expensive staples not that long ago, but some of you may know that certain staples that see play in dinosaur decks, like especially Lost World variants, like say Pot of Extravagance, will run you quite a bit. We have found a kind of side-skirting little solution to that. So. And it's not actually Pot of Desire, that's again another placeholder. So, for those of you, like me, who don't want to shell out $100+ for a single copy of Pot of Extravagance, we kind of thought of this. This is Performapal Popper Up. It's a rare from the latest legendary duelist, Magical Hero, and it states, send up to 3 cards from your hand to the graveyard, draw that many cards, then you can special summon blah blah blah. You could basically do a pendulum summon without using your pendulum summon. Then if you do not special summon by this card's effect, you lose 1,000 life points for each card in your hand. You could only activate it once per turn. So it's a little bit costly. It requires some hand setup, which is more than you could say for Extravagance. But this is kind of a card that is a good substitute for it. You don't really care about drawing a whole bunch of dinos as much because you could just kind of pitch them with this. So for example, you want to set up UC Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, or you want to dump Giant Rex into the grave, you know, something along those lines, and you didn't have another way to, well now you do. But it also, the more important thing is, it lets you dig. It lets you dig for Foolish Burial Goods to send the Survival's End. It lets you dig for kind of any other piece you may need, the Miscellaneous Source, the Lost World itself. Just, this is a very interesting card, and while I wouldn't exactly say it's objectively worse than Pot of Extravagance, there are definitely some downsides. For example, that's 1,000 LP for each card you have in your hand. So if you have 5 cards, discard all 3, and then draw 3, that's 5k damage. So you have to, it really puts you on a timer, and of course with the new time rules, that's another thing to be concerned about. This deck is also right now playing Galaxy Cyclone, though it's a bit interchangeable with Twin Twisters. We haven't quite, once the meta kind of settles and my local meta kind of settles, we'll figure out which to play, Galaxy or Twin Twister. But it's kind of risky, especially if you can't get that full OTK. But to kind of bring it back to that gentleman I mentioned who wrote that article, he has an interesting way to go for certain OTKs. So, number 60, Dugarest the Timeless. This is an ultra rare out of Battles of Legend Heroes Revenge. It's slowly been going up in price. You know, it's about $5 or so. Still relatively affordable, but it's very interesting. It's a Fiend Xyz monster, requires 2 level 4s, and you can detach 2 materials from this card and activate one of the following effects. Skip your next draw phase and draw 2 cards, then discard 1. Skip your main phase 1, also special summon 1 monster from your graveyard in defense position. Or skip the battle phase of your next turn, double the attack of a monster you control until the end of the turn. You can only use this effect of number 60 once per turn. So he's interesting because what you can do is, and this is kind of one of the main big OTK plays, you Lost World, you give your opponent a Jura Egg token, you set up Dugaris and say any other dinosaur monster on your field. You then go summon out Conductor Tyranno, detach your 2 Xyz, double up his attack. Then you take the any random dino and Dugares. You go for Pentstag. Then with your Pentstag, it lets a monster linked to it, being Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, do piercing damage. And so even if you get a bit of chip off, or your opponent Cosmic Cyclones or anything like Solemn or something like that, that's an easy game. And that kind of efficiency is really, really attractive to me. But yeah, so I will have kind of a full deck profile on this on these new dinos. While it's a little interesting because of the fact that this is a survival's end build. There's gonna be a lot of kind of unique card choices that you don't see in your average dino deck. But it's really clicking with me. I'm really liking it and testing so far. I'm gonna kind of have to get more of a feel for it. But once I do, I will upload most likely high impact dinosaurs, Lost World dinosaurs. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys later.